Another crazy story today about a roofer in Springfield ordered to give refunds to the customers and never operate business again. Guys, this is not a joke story. I see it all the time. On top of this story that we're gonna react together today, I'm gonna share two more stories from my personal career. I'm gonna share with you almost identical situation where a person who worked for me also stole from the church. But first, let's go and react to this one that just broke yesterday.
An on-your-side investigation, a Springfield roofer must make refunds and he can never operate a similar business again. That is in a court order.
It all started with months of reporting from our own Ashley Reynolds. She's here with an update.
Dakota Truitt owned Truitts Roofing. In the spring of 2020, customers, including a church, paid thousands and work was never done. The Missouri Attorney General got involved. He filed a lawsuit against Truitt. Now he's ordered to make things right.
First thing first, the problem that we see here is church and other customers have paid company name Truitt Roofing. Looks like storm restoration contractor. They have storm repairs in their name. They gave them deposits. Something I want to publicly say, we are not against deposits. It's totally okay to give your roofer a deposit, but you have to be cautious, you have to be careful. And if you're in a roofing business, if you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, this could be you. Listen, you're playing with the fire. If you're taking money and you're spending it on something else, but don't have that special place for deposits, it's not your money yet to spend, it's your liability. Absolutely crazy story because they prosecuted this roofer and he could not repay. He did not show up in court. Now he owes a lot of money and he already have judgment against him. Not only have a judgment against him, bad publicity, and he has ordered to never operate until he gets things right.
Truitt with Truitts Roofing must pay back customers a total of $70,000 plus penalties. He's banned, prohibited from operating a roofing business.
I think that's a big victory for consumers. This guy was a real bad actor, and we're happy with the result.
It's a default judgment. Truitt never filed a response. He never showed up to court.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do everything we can. So now that we've got the judgment, we'll seek to collect on the judgment. And that.
Two things here. Number one, what I see is there's a lot of guys who have been in this situation. One thing is what you always do, you show up in court. I don't care how bad the situation is. We all make mistakes, but what you have to do is you have to show up and you have to defend yourself. You have to tell your story. You have to show your intentions that you are willing to make things right. Not showing up in court, it's the biggest mistake on this roofer's behalf. And I see it all the time. A couple of weeks ago, I visited another contractor in Illinois. That guy has spent 3 months in jail for $1,000 deposit. I also feel like, the way the prosecution talks here, oh, it's big for victory for the consumer. Listen, it's not that big. It looks to me that they're just trying to make a case. If police and authorities would be prosecuted all roofers who are doing it, half of the roofers or big number would be in jail. But yet I see roofers arguing that, oh, what they're gonna do? Oh, I'm not gonna go to jail over 1,000 or 2,000. I have seen roofer in jail over $1,000 deposit. Couple months he served. So it's a real problem, and recovery, it's a long road after that. You're gonna have a lot of roadblocks to get back to it. So be very careful when you're playing with this fire.
That would mean going after any assets he has or the company has. So everything we're allowed to do under the law, we're going to pursue to try to make the consumers whole.
So you're not done yet? We
are not done yet. The first phase of this is getting the judgment. The second phase of it, of course, is enforcing the judgment.
Buckets were in pews.
Yeah, we have to put them all over whenever it's getting ready to rain.
You might remember Fairgrove First Baptist Church paid Truitts Roofing nearly $30,000.
We prayed that he would step up and honor the contract.
After our story aired, another company who wishes to remain anonymous finished the job. The church is mentioned in the judgment.
Just to be completely transparent, we don't really anticipate seeing any of the money. The young man appears to have spent most of it, but I'm glad that perhaps this action will save others from going through the same things that we experienced. I appreciate you so much, Ashley, taking this and making it public, and it was because of your tenacity and your shining a light on this that any action really began.
I love the fact that because of the news coverage Actually, the story went viral. A lot of people talked about it. Authorities, look closely at what took place. And like I said earlier, I think they just wanted to make a case out of it. I promise you to share my story. About 5 years ago in 2015, I have a guy working for me, almost identical situation. It was church money involved. Money here was $30,000. This guy pocketed about $50,000. I testify in court against him. Prosecutor here said that they're gonna try to enforce the judgment. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. I've been on other side of this. I testified against. Ended up getting felony for $50,000. He has to repay. He was member of the church, and they got appraisal for $280,000. And what happened is he was working for me as a sales rep. He promised me that my company gonna do the job. He brought to me actually $30,000, and he said, "Hey, Dmitry, we got this appraisal for $280,000. His commission would be about 28, 30,000. He said, "Can you pay me this amount up front? My church is giving you the job. I'm the one, I'm decision maker on this. I'm on the board of the church. We make the decision." It was February, March, and he said that the job will take place in the summertime when kids are not in school, but church wants to pay me today. I was naive enough. I mean, you have a guy who works for you. He pretty much asked advance sales commission, and not from my money, from church money. He brought me $30,000. I gave him back $30,000. Later, I found out he started his own company, but before he did that, he scammed his own church for a large amount. He pretty much came to the church and said, "Hey, pay this guy, and this guy," and he acted as a general contractor himself. I actually testified in court against him. He got a felony. He has to repay $50,000. On top of that, I sued him myself. It's also a very hard thing in the roofing industry. Even if you have a judgment against someone, to collect on the judgment, it's not easy. This roofer did not show up in court. We actually both faced the judge. I've never lost in court in my life. And we were, presented our cases to judge, and he lost. I got a judgment for $5,000. That was 2015. To this day, I never seen my money. I had another case, I remember in 2017, I testified against contractor, and I'll show you a short clip from it.
Stop. When it was pouring very, very heavy, I was in there. So I spoke with the owner of Pronto's Auto Material. I said, if you close the barn doors, there's the water that was coming in from the outside, inside of the property, not from the roof. So there was no leaks at the time. It was all open.
This contractor was Asphalt road contractor. The guy was supposed to fix roads. He scammed homeowner for like $4,000 or $5,000. He was the cheapest bid, and he literally filled the hole in the roof with concrete and asphalt instead of fixing it with the plywood. When I saw it, it was, among other things, it was mind-blowing. The roof was leaking. It was a small commercial building. A person who hired him was a widow. She was trying to take care of the body shop, left to her by her husband, and I have to go in court and present my evidence to the judge that this roofer, in fact, scammed her. Crazy stories, guys. Comment below what you think. If you're a homeowner and looking to hire contractor, please check out directory. We do have a lot of good contractors listed in directory, and if this would happen to any contractors in directory, if any of our contractors take your money, runs away, we will give you up to $20,000 just for trusting our recommendations. If we do recommend contractor who does not do good work, we will stay behind it, and we will pay you with our own money. Comment below what you think about the story, give it a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video.